The Dallas Cowboys have gone out and made a sneaky good signing, as after the injury to safety Malik Hooker, they decided they're going to bring back a former Cowboys preseason legend. We'll tell you who that is and all the latest information surrounding this signing right here on Cowboys Digest. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. Got a good one for you and a cool story behind it. This right here, though, this is why you subscribe and join the over 7,400 people who come to us for their daily Cowboys news, because a lot of channels, they're not going to cover this. We cover every move, and we're trying to get to 7,500, so if you could do me a favor, go down there and hit that subscribe button. I would really, really appreciate it. The Dallas Cowboys have made a move. Nick Harris put it on Twitter saying the Cowboys have signed safety Julius Wood back to their practice squad. Wood was a training camp standout for Dallas in 2024 and barely missed out on making the final 53-man roster. Tennessee claimed him off waivers, and he spent his rookie season there. He was suspended 6 games for violating the league's PED policy in 2024 and was recently reinstated. The story doesn't stop there, though, because if we go to the tweet from Patrick Walker, we find out that he is actually a college teammate of third-round pick for the Dallas Cowboys in this season, cornerback Shavon Revel Jr. So this is a pretty cool story all around, and something to keep watch of for a couple of different reasons. The first one being Julius Wood had 2 interceptions in last year's preseason with the Dallas Cowboys. They really did like him. In fact, there were a bunch of 53-man roster projections last year that had Julius Wood making the roster. He did not. The Titans ended up claiming him, which of course means the Cowboys couldn't put him on their practice squad, and he goes unnoticed after that. A couple of cool interceptions last year. Had a tip drill interception and also picked off Stetson Bennett. That was a memorable one for sure. Last year in the preseason, 3 games, 6 solo tackles, 3 assisted, 9 total, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 interceptions, recording 17 yards on those interceptions. For Julius Wood, this was a perfect case scenario. He put it on Twitter saying how excited he was to be back in the Dallas organization. And, you know, the Cowboys, they were looking for some help. They knew that their safety room, they feel good about it. Wanya Thomas looking good. Marquise Bell can also be in there, but it's widely going to be taken over by Donovan Wilson. And, in the safety room, you get some extra depth here with somebody who is familiar with the organization in that light. So that's kind of cool. Tyler Reed kind of talked about it. The defensive needs for the Cowboys are there. He says, quote, "The Cowboys defensive needs all the help they can get at this point. The Panthers shouldn't be much of a threat this week, but if the Cowboys want to be serious Super Bowl contenders, they need to fix the glaring issues on the defensive side." Do I think Julius Wood is going to fix all the Cowboys' issues? No, it certainly does not. This is a sneaky signing. It's something that could work out in the end. I bet you he will probably get pulled up to the active roster over the next 4 weeks that Malik Hooker is on the injured reserve list. You get 3 times you can be pulled up onto the active roster per season before you need to be signed or released. I would have to bet that he'll be pulled up at least 2 times, and then that third one will kind of be saved unless they really need to burn that roster spot, or if they plan on signing him. I think that's probably the other statement in there. So, talking about Malik Hooker, though, he's an interesting loss because I think a lot of Cowboys fans were wanting more of Wanya Thomas, and not to say that they were like saying, we don't need Malik Hooker. I don't think that was the overwhelming issue behind it. I think it was more saying that Wanya deserved playing time, and Donovan Wilson had been playing to, I would say, a relatively mid-level. In fact, he was one of the surprise cut potential candidates in this 53-man roster cut down. I think he would have been a shocker if he would have actually gotten cut. He didn't. We know that now. But for Malik Hooker, you go on IR, and kind of the good news beyond this is it is just a practice squad designation. He can get pulled up a couple times, and then hopefully Malik Hooker will be back within that 4-week period right after it, so that at that point, I guess you could just release somebody off the roster if you had them. That's kind of the overarching theme of what the Cowboys have kind of been doing this season. So looking at the PFF grades for the new signee here, we got 64.4 last year's season for Julius Wood, 80th out of 171 safeties, which That's not terrible at all. I mean, obviously, snap count is 5, so there's not much to put it into perspective. He had 9 games last year that he appeared in for the Tennessee Titans, had 2 tackles, 1 solo, 1 assisted. He didn't really do much, and whether that's because of scheme, whether that's because of whatever, you don't really know. And at the same time, the Cowboys, I think, with the way that their defense is aligned, they're not going to need him to be, doing anything absolutely crazy. If you go look, that's the offensive depth chart. If we go to there we go. Then we have the strong safeties and the free safeties. Wanya Thomas is going to be that starting free safety. Donovan Wilson is going to be that strong safety. If you remember, Elijah Clark got signed to the active roster, so a cool move there. And then you have Marquise Bell being your backup strong safety. So Elijah Clark, also a UDFA out of Syracuse this year. So kind of funny enough, kind of guys that were, Clark sneaky, trying to make the roster, doesn't, and then is on the practice squad. Cowboys pull him up. Julius Wood, sneaky, doesn't make the roster, gets signed to the Titans, and now he is back with the Cowboys in a practice squad role. So kind of a cool thing, but I want to know how in-depth you are, because I know we're 6 minutes into this video, and I think at this point, a lot of the Cowboys fans probably left, but I know if you're watching right now, you are legit a Cowboys diehard. You are my people. You're a real one for this Cowboys channel. And so I have to ask you the question, do you remember Julius Wood last year from the preseason? Do you watch the preseason games? If you remember him, I want you to get in the comment section and tell me why, tell me yes, whatever. If you did not remember him, but you do watch the preseason, then I want you to type in for no. It was an interesting response on Twitter when he got signed, but I'm curious to see if y'all remember him. Y for yes, in for no. Do you remember Julius Wood from last year's preseason? I obviously do. I mean, I really enjoyed watching him. If I didn't have this channel at this time, 2 years ago, obviously, when that decision was made, or a year and a half ago, but I was watching those plays and really thought he was going to make the active roster. I'm not going to lie, especially since the safety room, I still am on the form that Donovan Wilson is great, but nothing special. I do like the fact that they added Elijah Clark, and I'd be hard-pressed to say that maybe Julius Wood wouldn't have made it this year if he was not light. Mentioned he was a teammate of Shavon Revel Jr. in college at Eastern Carolina University. Here is Julius Wood's stats from that collegiate career. 87 total tackles in 2023 and in 2022. 41 solo in 2023. He also had 8 career pass deflections, just 1 in his final year, but 4 in the year prior. 2 forced fumbles in that 2022 year, and 2 interceptions in both his second and third years there. Also had a pick 6. If you go back to 2022, he was actually one of the better defensive players in all of college football, not just talking Eastern Carolina, like legit. He was one of the better players in all of college football. So I'm kind of excited to see him in a practice squad role. I really think that if he does get pulled up, if he does get called upon, I think he's going to make a good play. It just kind of seems how football works, that you're going to get him out there on the field. A guy who was with this team, with this roster last year, he doesn't make the team. He gets signed away. Cowboys fans didn't really like it in some ways. They wanted him to have him on the team. He's back. He gets pulled up for a game, makes a play. That would be a storybook type of story here for the Dallas Cowboys. But definitely an intriguing signing and a cool one at that. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section about this signing and all you got. I'm always commenting back, always looking to talk some ball down there in the comment section. That's what this is. This is a Cowboys community where we get to have fun. So we appreciate you. We thank you for watching this video, and we'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest, everybody. Peace out.